I'd love to start off by asking you all, what's your go-to sci-fi movie?
Oof. I'm gonna say E.T.
Oh, wow. You dug deep for that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I would
mean,
say,
I love the original Alien. I mean, I know we reference it, when talking about this film, but I mean, uh, I remember, yeah, and the Star Wars. I love the old sci-fi films.
Yeah, Predator.
Mm.
yeah, I would say Predator or
Yeah,
like Star Wars trilogy back in the day or like Terminator.
Yeah.
exactly.
Some combination of all of those is a good guide into this film. I think that there's definitely something that feels a lot more human about these aliens than something like Alien because they're walking and sort of marching, and it's still terrifying in a different way, but we don't have that sort of unknown of how are these creatures going to move? How are we going to do that? And I'm curious just what the physical training for these roles was like for all of you.
Well, I'll start it off. I mean, just adding to what you said. One of the things that I really love about this movie is that we did kind of pay homage to films pre VFX, right? So we had a creature artist that was amazing, Todd Masters, that built the suits, and we had creature actors that were in the suits. And for your viewers, the actors' heads come up to about the shoulder height of the alien, and then above that is an animatronic head. So we had creature artists off camera manipulating the facial expressions, and it really for a generation, for the younger generation that isn't accustomed to seeing anything but computer generated monsters
Mhm.
and bad guys. I think it'll be pretty cool, and for my generation, it'll be great to get a glimpse back into the past of days of old.
Yeah, I fully agree. Like those old school movies, these guys in suits running around, it gives the actor something tangible to touch, something to play off of, not a tennis ball on top of a stick in a corner, and that's supposed to be the big bad. It gives you, it just puts you in a different sense of awareness of where you are and what's going on right now. It's easier to play off of.
Yeah,
Mm.
agreed. Agreed. I remember the first time when we were there and the monsters were all kind of hidden in the back by where we used to eat lunch. And we knew they were being built and stuff. And they hadn't quite, made their appearance on set. And when you start to see these 6'6" monsters walking through the lunchroom, you're like, oh, this is real. It's getting real now. We're coming for you boys. Yeah, the monsters was such a great effect and not effect, since, like you said, Todd Masters was able to kind of build it all, out of the practicals. It was really cool to see.
But Gabe, you had asked about the training. I mean, I guess are you talking about the military training?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we had a, a former SEAL Team 6 operator there conducting the boot camp. Ironically, Michael Irby and I did 4 years of a military series together called The Unit. And LaMonica and I are on Lioness, which is also a military show. So I think all of us came in with some pre-existing skill set, but we definitely had somebody that was at the top of his game, honing in our weapons handling and tactical movements.
Yeah, we all know our way around the rifle pretty well, and when you're doing an indie like this, like a film like we're doing, it helps that everyone's just on point already. You don't have to teach every single aspect of everything, you know. You don't have the time for that.
Yeah, and as far as the physical training, um, I could never go down into the hotel gym without LaMonica being there. And without David B. Meadows being there. As far as the physical training, it's kind of it falls into that stay ready, be ready world. And it's like the tactical stuff. It is a perishable skill, so it was nice to get those refresh moments. But Max and LaMonica coming from Lioness, I know they were all pretty geared up and ready to rock and roll. But yeah, the physical stuff, we might be getting a little older, but we're just getting a little bit smarter and a little bit more wise in how to take care of ourselves. A lot of hydration, a lot of
Yeah,
hydration.
hydration and load management. That's what.
Yeah.
Well, how much does it matter who you're supposed to be fighting or where you're fighting, whether you're out, somewhere in the desert or you're in a more, uh, labyrinth-like indoor environment? Does that really change how you're moving and how you're supposed to be fighting from what you've learned?
For me, I'll take this one. Fighting outside in the elements, it's we're in New Orleans when we were filming. It's 100 something degrees outside. It sucks. This was a controlled environment. The labyrinth that we were in was really well done. So it was still, when you do military stuff, you keep your stack, you keep your training. No matter where you are, you have that training, whether you're inside a house, whether you're in the desert, wherever you are, you have to take that with you. And that's why the real special force guys that do it, they do this stuff nonstop in their sleep. They wake up, they train, they train, they train. So no matter where it goes, you keep your discipline.
I mean, the difference is that, like, on Lioness, LaMonica and I were probably mostly outdoors, I would say, right? So the difference is tactically outdoors. If you're out in the open, there's different formations, there's different ways that you approach, a danger zone, for lack of a better term. And then, in this situation, in this film, it's all inside. So it's, how you come around a corner, how you cover each other, how you take the rear, how you engage, and so there is a different, but yeah, I mean, look, LaMonica's right in generally speaking, it's somewhat the same, but it's more about how you approach corners and rooms, to be honest with you.
It was nice being in an AC environment. I'll put that there.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
That was really nice.
What are some other, surprising things about making an independent film that looks, that's just, I would say 90% action if that's fair, but just that doesn't really stop as compared with a lot of the, shows and other things you guys have been on?
Irby, you want to go?
Uh, yeah, I didn't really understand the question. I'm sorry.
What
I
goes
don't know,
into
but like
making an
working
indie that,
inside.
that really doesn't really feel like an indie because there's so much happening compared to, other things
Oh,
that might have higher budgets that you've been on
yeah.
that look similar?
Listen, once you're in it and you do kind of peek behind the curtain and see how the sausage is being made, at the end of the day, it's still a movie. And, I've never walked into a $50 million budget movie thinking they're going to get a different Irby, or a $5 million movie thinking they're going to get a different Irby. They're still going to get 100%. So as far as that goes, I was pleasantly surprised with basically how big and how expensive this movie looked, knowing what we were doing, out there in New Orleans. But I think it's a testament to Will, the producers, everybody involved, all of our VFX guys. I mean, they really nailed it. It makes a little movie look like a very, very big movie. And the world that they were able to create was so imaginative. And I can't wait for people to see it.
Yeah, 100%.
Go ahead, LaMonica, go ahead.
No, what Irby said, like it's the scale of it, movies, these indie movies are passion movies there, and especially what we did in the time frame that we did it in, a bigger budget film would stretch this out for months. They would have all this special, they'd have all this and that. We had what we had, and it's a testament to Will, like Irby said, the producers. We really felt like we were in these environments, and that's hard to do, with not such a big budget.
The thing that I like about this, Will, I mean, is obviously an action director, but this is my second movie for him, and the first script, called The Channel, was kind of caught my eye because it actually had some character development. He gives these moments to the actors and the characters to kind of breathe a little bit. And even in this one, although there's not a ton of time, it's like we come in and it's a fight for survival. So you can't get into excess character development, but he does let us kind of live in these lulls in the combat where you get to actually have human moments, and he get um, it's a special thing that he does, I think, is add a little humanity to these potentially two-dimensional characters that, could ultimately be, just guys barking orders on long guns.
I
Yeah,
actually
to
did want to make,
piggyback
yeah, go ahead.
piggyback off of what Max said, like the what you don't get in the character development because we jump right into it. You see the team and you feel their sense of brotherhood throughout the movie. So, and that was important. But the pacing of the movie and the threat that we're dealing with was the priority of this film. And it takes me back to Predator. Like, I didn't know the backstory of a lot of those guys out there. I just knew, like, Dylan, you know, he's in the trees, or, you're yelling at the screen back on Predator. And it was just one of those kind of movies where it was just, I want to make something like that one day. And I think with this, I got the chance to do that.
Yeah, we're talking about references. I feel like Alien actually is the wrong reference. Aliens is a better one because that's, there's not actually that much action in Alien, whereas Aliens, like, you go fully into that. And I feel like in this case, we get to know these characters a bit too much, where you're not like, oh, they're going to die. Like, they have to make it at least through half the film. If we know we've gotten to know them too much. If they die now, it feels wrong. And so I definitely do appreciate that, because there is that sense of urgency that you mentioned, that, like, who's got time to talk about stuff? We gotta fight the aliens right away, as long as we think that's what it is, which, for audiences should see much of a secret.
100%.
So, well, in doing press for a film like this, I assume you guys get asked a lot about some of your previous roles. And while I've seen you all in many different things, and before I saw this film, recognized all your names and was excited to talk to you, I'm curious, for each of you, one project that you never get asked about that you're particularly proud of and you wish people would reference more when they were talking to you.
Hmm.
That's a
Who
good
wants to
question.
jump in on this one?
I mean, I'll start. I did a movie that I directed called Sergeant Will Gardner that uh, is one of my all-time favorite things that I've done in my career, and it was hugely embraced by the the veteran community. But it's something that I wish more people would see, because I think it tells a story about somebody that's going through difficulties, emotional and physical injuries, and but remains kind of heroic and inspiring through the film. And so I think it's unique in that sense, and it's available out there. Sergeant Will Gardner, everyone. Yes, I would. That's something that I think could get more attention. Michael Irby.
Uh, I got a couple little jobs. One that no one will ever see. It was an absolute passion project. I did it during in between seasons 3 and 4 of the unit. It was called Bolden, and it was about the birth of jazz. And I got to play right at the turn of the century, this beautiful French Creole musician, violinist, who was the conductor of the band. And it was just a beautiful movie. No one will ever see it. But what I'm really proud of is my first movie out of New York. It was a little indie called Pinheiro. And it was about the Nuyorican poets scene there in New York City, like back in the 80s. Benjamin Bratt, Leona Chasso, the director, who has since passed, God bless. But Pinheiro, I was very proud of that movie. They let me do a little bit of my own spoken word. I was writing a lot of poetry and stuff at the time. But as far as all the stuff that's out there, the praise that comes, I'm just so proud of it, and so proud to be a part of the military community. And, I think we've made them proud. I think we made them proud.
I would
I
probably
loved your episode of Texas Ranger.
Didn't you like that one?
I think that
that
That's
You know, I
something that
wish
needs to
more
get
That's
people
out
what I
would
there.
have
thought
seen
you were
it.
going to talk about. Yeah.
It might be on Paramount Plus or Hulu. I'm not really sure where you can stream it. And you know, if you talk to Chuck, you know, we had a amazing repertoire. But yeah, I really hope you check that one out.
That Chuck, he's good with his feet. That Chuck, he's good with his feet. Probably a film I did. It was actually an AFI thesis film that went on to Tribeca, won a bunch of awards, you know, during the festival circuit. But it was about a football player that suffered from CTE post his career, and he thought he had a shot to get back. But you see what this disease does. I'm a former football player, and when I read the script, it paid next to no money. It was just one of those jobs. I was working on another job already, and my agent said we should turn it down. I'm like, I want to do this story. Like it hits close to home for me. And a lot of these guys, when they retire, this is kind of what they go through. And the director, I knew he was a young kid back then. Now he's went on to direct like all these big feature films. I think Palm Springs was the first one from what we just did, Max Barbaco. So it was just talented people, a really good script, and it meant something to me, you know. And yeah, it'd be cool if more people saw that. And that was a while ago. So, but like Irby said, all the stuff we do now, it's nice to be you know, you're telling stories of actual people, military. You want to get it right. And when they come up to you and they say, hey, man, thank you for what you do. You know, my brother's in the Marines or my son's, you know, in the special forces. We go to naval bases and we talk to people. It's good to have that kind of support and know you're telling the stories right.
I appreciate the chance to have some projects to look for, and I hope that people, you know, watching this video will try to seek them out as well. And I'd love to end by asking you all for something you've seen recently, whether it's TV or film that has really impressed you. Can be sci-fi, can be military, can be anything else. But what have you seen recently that you think deserves awards buzz?
I'm ready. Warfare.
Oof.
God, it was so good. You know, at the end of that film, I walked out realizing that there was no story. You came in the middle of an operation, you left at the end of it, and I couldn't let go of the seat the entire time. I thought it was really well acted, well executed. You know, broke a lot of rules, and uh, I didn't miss anything that was, you know, missing from the conventional, you know, format. So Warfare is my pick.
And that movie, Warfare, tactically, they nailed it.
Yeah, they got it right.
Got that, man, they got it. It was really just one long scene.
They got it right. But I will say that I think our movie is probably top 5, man. I mean, I look at what we did in Osiris, and it's
yeah.
It's on point.
Yeah.
You know,
A movie I've seen recently, I would say that I'm a huge I watch a lot of animated. I watch, you know, there was the movie Killer of Killers. It was the new Predator animated movie. It was so good. It was one of those where I'm yelling at the screen. Like Blue-Eyed Samurai was another one that I saw not too long ago, and that was just amazing. Another animated. I think I watch more animated than I do, you know, regular film and TV. But that Killer of Killers, that new Predator, was next level.
Yeah. Agreed with everything. Warfare. But LaMonica, I'm going to have to get your take on some of these animated because I don't really watch a lot of animated, but they sound very interesting. But yeah,
I got a list for you.
Sorry?
I'll send you over a list.
Yeah, send me a list, my man. Send me a list. Send me a list.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I wish you plenty of luck with Osiris and everything that comes next. And it's a pleasure speaking with you today.
Thanks, Abe.
Thanks, man.